Hi, hello, everybody. This is Etienne Marcel with the Sports Inquirer, and we are happy to be joined by Georgia Tech volleyball. We have head coach Michelle Collier, who is no stranger to us here on the Inquirer, and a new guest, Bianca Garibaldi. Did I say a little better? No,
That's
not
better.
close.
That's
A
better.
little better, a little better. But no, Bianca, thank you for joining us. We're catching up with the Yellow Jackets as they progress through their non-conference portion of the schedule, and they have a big matchup against Wisconsin, hosting a top 25 matchup on the flats. So looking forward to watching that. So both of y'all, thank you for joining us today. We'll start with you, Michelle. We're really towards the tail end of the non-conference portion of the schedule. How's the team performing overall, and just impressions of the Jackets so
Yeah,
far?
no, I mean, I think we have had a lot of growth throughout this time of the schedule. We scheduled really tough, so I think every match has kind of been getting harder and harder, and the team is really responding. We have a lot of new faces, a lot of new things we've been having to work through, and I think that every day we're bought in, we're sticking together, and we're figuring it out as we go in matches. But I like the commitment, I like the fight, and I'm looking forward for us to keep getting better.
Yeah, and Bianca, just from your perspective, how has the season been for you? And what are your individual accolades in a moment, but just the team overall? How do you think the team has just been playing so far as you get through this portion of the season?
Well, I think we're doing pretty good. Like Michelle said, we have a lot of new pieces, well, including myself, a lot of freshmen coming in. But at the same time, I think that could be our strength too. I'm excited to see how much better we're gonna get as the season goes by, and especially since we get to play these big teams like Wisconsin tomorrow. I think that's a good opportunity for us to get better and show up and bring our best volleyball. And personally, I want to do that just for the team and bring my best.
Yeah, and Michelle, let's talk about this non-conference slate. You've been all over the place. You went to Tennessee, strong SEC team. You're hosting Wisconsin, a top 10 foe. So what about this non-conference slate? You're really scheduled hard this off season, and uh, just what have been the intentions with that? And is that just intentions to schedule these type of matches? You're on national television on ESPN2, I believe tomorrow. But just what about the layout of this non-conference slate and how it's shook out for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for the aspirations we have overall, not only this year, but with the future of our program, I think it's the type of scheduling that we have to get used to playing. We need to challenge ourselves. We have a lot of young players that I felt needed to understand what this level is like and what a competition is like on a daily basis sooner than later. So those were all very intentional. I think that, we played two top 25 teams at Purdue. We played Tennessee, who's receiving votes. We had some great schools here on our first weekend at home, and then we're playing a top 10 team in Wisconsin. And I think that that's what we're going to face in the ACC, all those levels of teams and strength and weaknesses. And so our goal is to really expose ourselves to as much of that, challenge ourselves, understand a little more about our strength and weaknesses, and keep moving forward and evolving and getting better. So we can't shy away from playing these matches, and I think that we've responded really well to every match that we played. So there are a lot of things we can still do better, which is exciting. But we have also done a lot of really good things early on as well. So I'm excited to keep building on this.
Yeah, and we've seen developments from Suarez, who obviously came in with moving up the assist charts, and she's top 10 now, I guess, in history of the program. And even Sofia Velez, we've seen her come in and have strong performances. Before we get to Bianca, let's highlight those two and kind of what you've been seeing from them with the Yellow Jackets so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of our upperclassmen have been carrying a lot of responsibility, especially because we have so many new players and young players. Um, so I'm glad to see that these guys are stepping up. I mean, that was our expectations of them, especially with the roles that they play within our system, within our program, and just being here for 2 years, 3 years. Even Bianca, who's only a sophomore, but understands the ACC and the level of competition. Um, that we play and what we want to do with our program. So very proud of those guys for stepping up and leading, and looking forward for them to continue to do better, get more and more comfortable with that ball, because we're going to need a lot of them to be able to do the things that we want to do with our season.
Yeah, and Bianca, circling back to you, Coach gave you some compliments there. But yeah, you went from last year being at Pitt and not seeing the court so much to now, Georgia Tech. You've been a major contributor so far. How has that been like for you, transitioning to Georgia Tech and being on the volleyball court? I'm sure it's pretty exciting for you after not seeing us so much at Pitt last year.
I mean, it's been great. I've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time and preparing. So it's just exciting to get to be on the court, and also I've I get to play with amazing teammates. We're all like international, and I just feel so comfortable. Same thing with staff. I've been feeling great. I'm just like grateful that I get to contribute a lot to the team and have that responsibility of contributing in every game too. So it's been great.
Yeah, and what led to your transfer to Georgia Tech? I mean, it's within the conference, but and we'll get to your international career in a moment. But what was the appeal of Georgia Tech and moving down south here into Atlanta?
The weather. No, many things. Mostly, I like the. Well, Bianca Bertolino was here last year, and I always heard good things about the program from her. And well, we played against Georgia Tech last year, and I was amazed by the level of the team. So it was very attractive to me. Also, it's an awesome school. So there were many things that were appealing to me to choose this school.
Yeah, and this summer you were able to play for the Argentina national team, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. What was that experience like playing on an international level, and how have you carried that experience over into your time at Georgia Tech so far?
It was great. I mean, it's always, I always take pride on being able to represent my country every chance I get to. I'm glad, well, my coaches allowed me to go back and compete with my national team. We did very well for our national team history in the World Cup. We ended up seventh. So that was very nice. And that translates to here too. Since last year I didn't get to play a lot, it was good for me as a player to adapt to having responsibility and getting to score points before coming here, starting the season right away. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and then Michelle, how valuable is that for your players? You have an international roster, but just how big is that for these players to get that international experience during the collegiate off season, just on and off the court, being around professionals and traveling the world? How valuable is that for their development on and off the court as players?
Yeah, no, I think huge. I mean, I think that to do the things that the aspirations that they have with the game of volleyball and what they want to do, even beyond college, in college, and beyond college, you can't take 3 months off in the summer. You have to be touching the ball. You have to be working out. Hopefully, the NCAA will sooner than later allow us to be able to be with our players in the summer and help their development and help them stay strong and healthy. So we have a better transition into the season as the sport continues to grow. And so our international players have the opportunity to do that. And obviously, as part of the recruiting process, we understand that that's an important piece for them and for their development. For us, it's a huge advantage to be able to have them participate and be training and playing all summer, like Bianca said, to really be able to. We don't have a lot of time in preseason to get ready for the season, right? So if you can really challenge yourself and allow yourself to continue to grow and have the resources to help you, coaching staff, medical staff, people around you that it's going to keep keeping you safe and helping you develop as people and as players, mentally, physically, with your game, technically. So it's really important, and I think that I hope that is something that the NCAA will allow all players to have access to sooner than later. But until then, we're all for our kids that have the opportunity to do that. We're very supportive of that for sure.
Yeah, and once again, we're joined by Bianca and Michelle from Georgia Tech Volleyball. We'll wrap up with a big matchup for previewing the big matchup against Wisconsin taking place on September 12th. It's on ESPN2, a top 25 matchup. Bianca, we'll start with you. How excited is the team to get back on the court? Sure, there was disappointment after that Tennessee loss, but you get right back at it tomorrow against the Badgers. How's the team preparing and looking for this upcoming Friday?
Well, we're very excited, and I know we're gonna have to put up a fight. Wisconsin is a very good team, but so are we, and I think it's gonna be a good opportunity for us to find our strengths. And I think as the season goes by, we're gonna have to stay mentally strong and learn from, well, these past loss. We can't just stay thinking about it since we lost like one day ago into this after we're playing Wisconsin. So we know what we have to do better for this game, and I'm sure we're gonna perform well.
Yeah, actually, Bianca, we'll stick with you. Just I was thinking about this, and I forgot to ask earlier. Just looking at the rotation, the roster, you playing middle. I want to be I want to be respectful. You're not one of the taller middles. I think that you'll see out there. You're tall in life, but in
But
volleyball,
not in volleyball.
well, that's what I was going to say. Well, for the middle position, you have some liberos and setters who I'm sure that you have a height advantage over. But what was that development like? How did you end up at the middle as opposed to where you they tried in the past? Have you been tried to put you as an outside or maybe in a different position than a middle where height seems to be a big requirement?
When I first started, yes, but then as soon as I started training with the national team when I was like 15, they tried me out as a middle, and it worked out. I know I'm not the tallest one, but I can compensate with other things, especially in the weight room. I work very hard, and I don't know. I think it's nice to have the opportunity of showing kids that it's not all about height, but you can also have skills to make you being able to compete at the highest level. So yeah, I mean it's challenging, but you just gotta have courage, get up, and just hit the ball as far as I can every time.
Oh, and you've been doing a great job so far. Michelle, what about on that? Before we get to Wisconsin, what about that? Having a, how much do you look at height? Obviously, skill is the most important thing, and I'm sure some other intangibles. But do you look at height and see, oh, she may be a little shorter than a typical, or maybe a little taller? Then, because you don't really, we talked about this before. We don't see tall liberos. That's my thing, or setters. I want to see a 6'3" setter one day, and I mean, I'm sure they're out there,
Yeah.
but I don't find it too often. But how much does height really kind of play into kind of the profiling, maybe a little bit of your player?
I think it depends. I think we have a good combination with all of our middles of strength and weaknesses and what people do well. And I think it's important to have that. You can't have every position in your roster have the same profile, the same strength and weaknesses. I think that has been one thing that has really helped us. There is other things that people do, and so we can balance our strength and weaknesses within our team and figure out the best kind of group for each match even. I'm really proud of the group of middles that we have, and obviously Bianca has stood out and done a great job, and she brings a lot of other things to the table. You know, she's a great competitor. She does the right things on and off the court. So those are things that are really important to us. We want to have players here who are example of, work ethic and fight and things like that. And so I think that she really does a good job of bringing energy, of bringing a competitive spirit to that position and to our team. And I was an undersized player as well, and I think that it's not the size of what they say. It's not the size of the dog. It's the size. I don't even know what that saying is. You know what that saying is, Marcel?
The size of, it's not the size; it's the fighter, the biter, the dog.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. I get it mixed up
So
too. But
yes,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
yes. So we're not. It's. I think there's so many other factors that go into play. That I mean, height is always helpful for some situations, but sometimes it ends up. Middles can be slower or. Um, they're not as strong when they're jumping and blocking things like that. So it just really depends. It's not always a requirement. I think the biggest thing is how high they are playing above the net. I think that that's a big thing. So if she compensates with her jump, and like she said, she does a great job in the weight room to stay healthy and stay strong. And I think that she doesn't uh, make it seem like she doesn't belong there. I think that she has shown that she has played against anybody in front of her, and she has able to execute. So we look forward for her to keep doing that.
Oh, absolutely. Is there a 6'3" setter out there? Do they exist?
They
Either one of
exist.
you?
They exist.
Really?
They
I gotta
do.
look. Maybe. International level, a little more professional
No, I think
level.
the NCAA, there's a few. I think
Really?
it's like
Okay.
a Texas setter that might be, a Nebraska setter, I think the new one,
Oh, okay.
might be 6'3". So yeah, there were some setters out there that can beat that.
All right. Well, I have to check that out. But
Yeah.
once again, we're here with Bianca and Michelle from Georgia Tech volleyball. Michelle, we'll wrap up on this. You're facing Wisconsin, obviously a top 10 team. You're ranked as well, so it's a top 25 matchup. Just looking at what they've seen so far, obviously a very physical team. We've seen how they've had a really strong non-conference as well. Just what's the team have to execute well to emerge with a victory tomorrow against the Badgers?
I think first and foremost, we have to be physical. I think that we have to believe that we can compete with this team, and I think that we do. And then we got to go out there and let it rip. I think that we got nothing to lose. I think it's going to be a great volleyball day here at O'Keefe. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be loud. The atmosphere is going to be exciting. Um, we have worked really hard throughout this preseason to have an opportunity like this. So I think that we'll go out there with nothing to lose and really just go compete and see what happens. I think that there's a lot of parity in volleyball these days. There's a lot you've seen upsets all the time and people competing, and so I think that the girls are growing when it comes to that and battling and competing, and the matches are played between the lines. So we're excited to get an opportunity. We understand the challenge. We respect, of course, all that they have been able to accomplish and do. They're an example of a program that we one day strive to be and build a history like they have been. And so it's a chance for us to just go out there, have some fun, play some good volleyball, and see what happens.
We'll be watching and following, of course, here at the Inquirer. But thanks for your time, Bianca. Thank you, Michelle, and good luck for Wisconsin and beyond.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're back. That was Michelle Collier along with Bianca Garibaldi. Hopefully, I say that right. But we thank Bianca and Michelle for joining us as the Yellow Jackets do continue the non-conference portion of their schedule, hosting Wisconsin tomorrow on September 12th. As always, follow everything that we do. Head to the mothership to sportsinquirer.net. Premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also head to our social media platforms on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look us up under Etienne Marcel Pursuit in the Sports Inquirer. And finally, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our audio and video hosts, which include YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and more. Once again, until next time, good fight, good night, and be safe.